welcome to a brand new season of Tom Myers versus the rest of the world. A lot has been going on since we were last with you. As we're recording this, we're a few hours from a potential government shutdown, so if no spending bill has been passed by the time this episode drops, welcome, newly furloughed federal employees. You can join your fellow former co-workers who joined us this past spring in listening to the show and hearing us shit on your old boss. The big beautiful bill was passed by Congress. It's only beautiful if you enjoy having your eyes drilled out of its sockets and your nuts tased. Of course, we were all lucky that it passed when it did. If House Speaker Mike Johnson had gotten any more excited about it, he would have gotten an erection and told his son.
Oh, God.
It's the first thing big and beautiful that Trump has proposed that he hasn't called a fat pig.
Mm.
That was the perfect reaction for that.
Yeah.
Donald Trump gave a speech at the United Nations. Before his speech, the escalator broke down, as if even it knew that Trump was going to say something shit stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, was that escalator right.
Mm.
Trump's speech to the UN is basically the United States giving a worldwide platform to that relative at Thanksgiving who gets drunk and angry about a Facebook post from the Lincoln Project.
Mm-hmm.
We now have to answer to other world leaders because of that speech. It's the diplomatic equivalent of saying, now what Grandpa really meant to say was, one analyst referred to it as the equivalent of a stand-up comedy show. Haven't comedians taken enough of a beating in just the last few months alone? Why burden us further by comparing us to this shit? If anything, Trump's UN speech is more akin to an open mic set, just with the racism and xenophobia being more subtle. Elon Musk is no longer at the White House. He has formed the America Party, which is how he and his fellow racist neurodivergents describe a 4th of July get-together.
Oh, my God.
The Justice Department issued an indictment against former FBI Director James Comey. The indictment was only 2 pages, as that suits Trump, since his attention span is that of a dying goldfish who knows it's about to be flushed.
Love that.
White House border czar Tom Homan was found to have accepted a bribe from undercover FBI agents before the election last year. They gave it to him in a giant paper bag, which just shows how out of touch with the modern world this guy is. I mean, how old is this guy? Do we have to treat him like Wile E. Coyote and flatten him with a boulder? I'm speaking metaphorically, Christy Noem. I have to say this now.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Homan responded to the allegations by saying he gets threats and he doesn't even live with his family anymore. That just shows the only person really happy that Tom Homan is the border czar is Mrs. Homan. Of course, being forced to leave his home is fitting, given that's his policy on immigrants in this country. Okay. Tom Homan's bribe should have come with one of those exploding dye packs. That way, when he opened that paper bag, it would have improved his complexion. And finally, former President Joe Biden announced he had bone cancer. Trump responded by saying that Biden had stage 9 cancer.
Oh.
Of course, he got confused, as stage 9 is his level of dementia. And well, on that note, on with the show. Please join me in welcoming Polite Kitty, Alyson Chadwick, and retired educator and therapist Lucy Strausbaugh.
Ooh, yes, glad to be back.
Yes, I'm glad to be back too. So how's everyone's summer been?
TikTok actually sent me a message saying, we noticed a lot of messages in your posts are kind of mean. You can block them if you like. And I'm like, I love them.
Oh, wow.
And well, actually, I had to get rid of my TikTok because they completely muted one of my stand-up videos.
Really?
And it was about how the new pope is an American, and I made a joke about how he'd be the first pope to be his own security. He'd defend the Vatican with an AR-15. And then I made the joke about him being from Chicago. And then there was a Baltimore reference. You know, I think the line was, hold my heroin needle and watch this. Like, that hit too many soft spots. Like, even for the Chinese. I'm like, wow, what am I doing wrong?
Man, Tom, you just out here like causing all kinds of chaos when you're on break.
Yeah, like chaos monkey.
It's a nice change from doing this, to be honest. It's like I can't wait for Christmas now. Let the holidays get here now, please.
I'm not ready for
Really?
Christmas.
We know for a fact that Donald Trump has never owned a dog, so the next best thing he can do would be to say that his son Eric ate the Epstein client list. It was discovered that Trump made a giant check for Epstein for the procurement of a woman, at which point Trump told Barron, and that, son, is how I met your mother. I'm presuming. There is also the controversy surrounding the missing minutes in the prison surveillance tape at the time of Epstein's death. I suppose it would be too much to ask that the tape contains the guard muttering, I can't believe that fat orange fuck wants me to off this guy.
Yep.
I personally think Jeffrey Epstein did commit suicide, owing to the shame of publicly being outed as Donald Trump's wingman. For the birthday letter to Epstein, Trump explained the way the letter by saying it was not written in his language. To be fair, he has a point, as it has way too many syllables in it. The sad part is you can't even guilt trip Trump with, imagine if this was your daughter that Epstein did that to, without Trump getting an erection.
Oh,
Joining us tonight to go ahead and discuss the Epstein files, how Trump's name is on the Epstein list, why Republicans aren't releasing the Epstein files, and how Trump's name appears all over the Epstein files. I have a feeling we might be saying that over and over again. Please join me in welcoming back to the show comedian Joe Gorman.
Hey, thanks for having me, man.
Joe, welcome back.
Yeah. Tom, thanks, man. It's good to see. Always a pleasure. Thank you for having me, man.
Yeah. I figured I better get you on because with Jeff mourning his Mets being not in the playoffs this week, I figured I'd need another guy on this panel to go ahead and take some of the flack. So thank you for biting the bullet on this one, Joe. I appreciate it.
I'm happy to be a part of the team and playing my role.
On this show, we put men in their place. That's what we do.
Yeah.
You're damn right.
Yeah. So, I mean, I can just throw this open to the whole panel. I mean, a lot of stuff has taken place in the news as of late, which we'll go ahead and get to, in future episodes. But it's the Epstein files and the Jeffrey Epstein case is just this one thing that just, it will not go away, which with any other topic in the news cycle, that's usually been a hindrance. But in this case, could it be helpful, or could Trump and his allies get away with something else again?
I don't think they can get away with this. I think it's hilarious that Trump knew he was in the files because the only woman he's not criticized is Ghislaine Maxwell. So he knew he's in the files, yet he drummed up the conspiracy. And then he got his base all pissed off about it. And then he's like, oh, crap. Like, I really don't think he can get away with this.
And there's other dimensions that are going to be creeping up on both he and Melania because the information that has come out thus far is that I think everybody knows Melania met Trump as a friend of Epstein, like she was working for Epstein. And what I'm next going to say has been in the newspaper and nobody's gotten sued because of it yet. So I'm going to say it. Witnesses say that Trump and Melania had sex for the first time on the Lolita Express. He met her once before then and then ended up in one of the private areas of the airplane. So Melania is even starting to feel like she's got to defend herself.
What is your news source? I want to know. Why did I see this?
I didn't see that.
I online too much. I read everything, and I have been on the topic of sex trafficking and human trafficking for over 30 years. It was a big part of my curriculum with my high school seniors. And this is just such an ugly, hussy boil on the butt of America, but we deserve it because of the levels of patriarchy and misogyny that run things. And as we have learned, pedophiles protect pedophiles, which is why I don't have a lot of hope that some list is going to come out from the Justice Department. I mean, because Pam Bondi was protecting his ass when, in Florida, when that was the first criminal case. Again,
Oh, right.
she was the district attorney protecting him. So the ugliness just goes on and on and on. But what I do think is going to maybe crack it open is at some point in October, the dearly departed, Virginia Giuffre, who recently died of what we think is suicide, most likely was because of the horrors she has had to, recover from and live with. Her book is coming out, and I have it on pre-order. It's called Nobody's Girl, and she's going to name all the names that she knew in that book. And sad to say, she's safe from retribution at this point. So I think that's how, and haven't we already seen a list of 20 guys? 20 scumbag billionaires and oligarchs and senators and just all the scumbags, all the men.
The King of England's brother.
These men, these rich men who think they have a right to buy women and use women, but they don't have the guts to do it with real women. They did it with girls, with young girls. Ugh. So somebody else start talking, because I'm going to start cussing.
Even a docile, trained media, accustomed to the stonewalling that Donald Trump has done from the time of his first term in office, is relentless in its pursuit of the truth behind Donald Trump's affiliation with Jeffrey Epstein, going back a couple of decades. To paraphrase the Monty Python Dinsdale sketch, even the journalists began to sit up and take notice. Here are excerpts of Trump discussing his claim that Jeffrey Epstein,
I don't want to say two, or I don't want to say any number. You're talking about many years ago. But yeah, he took people, and because he took people, I say, don't do it anymore. They work for me. And he took, beyond that, he took some others. And once he did that, that was the end of him. I didn't like, when they steal people, I don't like it.
Mr. President, did one of those stolen persons, does that include Virginia Giuffre?
I don't know. I think she worked at the spa. I think so. I think that was one of the people. Yeah. He stole her. And by the way, she had no complaints about us, as you know. None whatsoever.
President, I know that it's been an extremely busy week between this executive order, trade, Russia, Gaza, but also the family of Virginia Giuffre released a statement overnight in response to some of the comments that you made this week. You said that Jeffrey Epstein stole people from Mar-a-Lago. At the time, did you know why he was taking those young women, including Virginia?
No, I didn't know. I mean, I would figure it was ABC fake news that would ask that question, one of the worst. But no, I don't know really why. But I said, if he's taking anybody from Mar-a-Lago, he's hiring or whatever he's doing, I didn't like it. And we threw him out. We said, we don't want him, at the place. This is a story that's been known for many years, as you know. But it's, I didn't like it that he was doing that.
I mean, he may as well have said, I kicked him out because he was a creep and I hated the competition.
I don't believe for a minute any of that is true. Not a bit of it.
He did get kicked out.
No, never did. I mean, if they had any kind of parting of the ways, it was about money. I mean, there was absolutely no way it was about abusing girls that he gave.
I heard there was an issue with real estate that they got into it. I believe that could happen, but it was not over the girls by a stretch.
No.
Really sounds like a lover's quarrel where someone got mad at the other and said, you're stealing my girls, is basically what it is. And he kicked Epstein out of his house.
Can I just say that this whole thing about, when is the list going to come out? It's almost like gaslighting our whole country. Doesn't everybody know they were best friends? They were doing this shit 24/7, whenever they could. And these girls have said what happened and who did what to who. There's no mystery left. What are we going to find out that we don't already know? And I'm really asking that.
That's true.
Okay.
If we had just believed them in the beginning, if we just believed them, we wouldn't need the list.
Right. And, I was hoping that when these 40 women testified in front of this congressional committee, that, they were saying that they were going to put out all the names, but then real quick, whoever had lawyers, they were like, nope, nope, nope. You're going to get killed. They're going to kill you.
Did you notice that? I mean, some of this, the way they talk about it is just, the words don't even make sense sometimes.
Exactly. And here's my other question. So, if some list that hasn't been redacted into oblivion comes out and it has, Trump's name all over it, what's going to happen?
Nothing. But did you notice how Trump talked about the island and how we talked about it? He said, I never had the honor of going to the island, but I didn't go. Like,
that is unbelievable.
How would it be what? I mean, what?
We'll find out if that's true eventually. Maybe. Hopefully while Trump is still alive,
Hopefully.
Maybe he's all lied out and his body can't create any more lies.
See, I think lies for him are like fuel.
Yes.
Like Bill Clinton, I used to work for him, when he'd go to a big crowd and speak to them, and he got energy from it. I think when Trump lies, it like regenerates him like some kind of weird lizard.
Ghislaine Maxwell wants to testify before Congress.
Ugh.
As an incentive, she will give Republican House members tips on how to groom their staffers.
Oh.
In an effort to distract from the fact that Trump's name is most definitely on the Jeffrey Epstein case files a number of times, his sycophants at the Justice Department are doing everything they can to muddy up the waters and create an alternative narrative. Using one of Epstein's co-conspirators, Ghislaine Maxwell, to bolster their case, we can hear in this clip from a prison interview she did with Trump's Deputy Attorney General, Todd Blanche.
As far as I'm concerned, President Trump was always very cordial and very kind to me. And I just want to say that I admire his extraordinary achievement in becoming the president now. And I like him. And I've always liked him. So that is the sum and substance of my entire relationship.
What about Mr. Epstein's relationship with him?
I don't know how they met, and I don't know how they became friends. I certainly saw them together, and I remember the few times I observed them together that they were friendly. I mean, friendly.
Did you ever observe President Trump receive a massage?
Never.
Did you ever observe? You said that you were. I mean, have you seen there's photographs, public photographs of Mr. Epstein and President Trump together?
Yes.
And there's photographs of, I think you're in some of the photographs as well. Those all appear to be social settings.
Yes. That's my memory. If there were social settings, I don't know Epstein's, if he had, whatever the nature of the president's friendship, if you will, or however you want to define that with Epstein, I was never witness. I think they were friendly like people are in social settings. I don't think they were close friends, or I certainly never witnessed the president in any of, I don't recall ever seeing him in his house, for instance. I actually never saw the president in any type of massage setting. I never witnessed the president in any inappropriate setting in any way. The president was never inappropriate with anybody.
She did sound a little bit in that interview like she was thinking to herself, if I slip up even once, then I'm going back to real life. Orange is the new black.
Yes. Word she said, not one word.
I think she just knew if she sucked up hard enough, she'd be good.
Yep.
And she's good at sucking up.
Yep. Bingo.
But also when she was first incarcerated, she bragged that she'd be let out of prison soon because she was going to tell the Biden people dirt on Trump. And I think she tried that, and they're like, she is not credible. We're not going there.
Wow. Jesus.
And ironically enough, that inaction on the Biden Justice Department's part, among many other things, probably helped get Trump the confidence to run for office again and get reelected. So that ended up kind of shooting everybody in the foot at that moment.
It did give his base the ammunition to say, well, if Biden had dirt on Trump, he would have used it. I do not believe that for a second, because that's really not typically how Biden, but that's not his MO.
Mm-mm.
And it's also not generally how things have been done in politics until Trump.
Right. They're all acting so useless. Like, well, what do we do? What do we do? You know, it's like Merrick Garland. Good God Almighty! That, you know, I mean, if he had done his job, we wouldn't be where we are. We would absolutely not be where we are today. Trump's ass would be in a prison cell.
Or if they'd done their job in the Senate and impeached him for January 6th, we wouldn't be
Yes,
here.
correct. So the fecklessness of all of these, you know, judges, operatives, Democrats, and I'm putting it on the Democrats. No, the corruption is on both sides. That's all. You know,
I think on the Democratic side, it's more spinelessness.
And Obama did the same thing with the Bush administration and how they tortured detainees.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
and that of course led to conservatives thinking they can go ahead and get away with doing even more of this stuff.
they have gotten away with it. So.
Yeah. It's no secret that Donald Trump thinks of no one but himself first, even at the cost of women, no matter how well he knows them. He views all of his relationships with women as transactional, from the ones who worked for him at the Trump Organization and his show The Apprentice, to his daughters, and even his wives, each of whom he seems to have traded for a younger model. In fact, Trump discards women like most men discard socks under the bed after they finished cracking one off. If that seems a bit harsh, it's probably because the socks in this scenario get treated better than Trump's romantic partners.
Mm-hmm.
In this raw footage from a conference in 2007, we see Trump take advantage of a situation where he gets to parade a young woman to satiate his ego.
My name is Juliet. I have a question. My question is, how many jets do you have and how would I apply to be a flight attendant?
I think she's hired. You're hired. Now, I had a case. It was very interesting. A beautiful girl who was 17 or 18 applied to be a waitress. She's so beautiful. She's like a world-class beauty, like the young lady who just asked a question about the actress. She's so beautiful. And my people came, she said, look, Mr. Trump, she has no experience. So I interviewed her anyway, because she was so beautiful. And I said, let me ask you, do you have any experience? She goes, no, sir. I said, when can you start? And you can work on my plane anytime. Hey. See, now, she worked on my plane. That's like a death wish for me, right? That's like an alcoholic. I have many friends here, wonderful people. They're alcoholics. You put scotch in front of them. It's like, this would be my form of alcoholism. Okay, yes, ma'am.
He compared that particular situation to being an alcoholic. And as someone who's been in recovery myself, even I've never acted like that. And I've behaved in pretty nefarious ways during my drinking years.
He basically just outed himself as a sex addict. And he is.
No one cared.
Exactly.
Yeah. I was going to say, they were applauding him.
Yeah.
Oh, sex addict.
Well, I mean, he was also just the star of a TV show at the time and just outed as a really shitty businessman. So they figured
Seeing
at the
him
time he
kiss
wasn't
her,
really.
It made me sick. Yeah.
I'd rather have Jabba the Hutt lick me than that.
With the Trump administration stalling on releasing information pertinent to the Jeffrey Epstein investigation, including the existence of the client list, the lack of transparency is starting to have an effect on those who were once some of Trump's most ardent supporters, as Nick Fuentes demonstrates in this clip.
And now he says, if you're not on board with the Epstein cover-up, oh, I don't want your support. You're a weakling. Fuck you. Fuck you. You suck. You are fat. You are a joke. You are stupid. You are not funny. You are not as smart as you think you are. You are, and honestly, And if you watch my show, you know I've been very critical. I've never been this far. This just goes to show this entire thing has been a scam. When we look back on the history of populism in America, we are going to look back on the MAGA movement as the biggest scam in American history. And the liberals were right. The MAGA supporters were had. They were. When we look back in history, we will see Trump as a scam artist who served as a vehicle for this rather than the other way around. We were not the vehicle for Trump. Trump was the vehicle for all of us.
Welcome to a decade ago, Nick. I mean, Jesus.
Yeah, thanks, Captain Obvious.
You know, I hate that guy like Jeff hates Jesse Waters. I really don't like listening to him.
The only good thing about him is they're starting to kind of eat their own over there in the MAGA sphere, the right-wing sphere. You know, they're ever since Charlie Kirk went down, you know, things are shifting, and
it's almost as if, you know, the administration is shocked, you know, when their supporters, you know, they go off on this angry rhetoric just because they don't get everything their way. They spout off on social media, on their various YouTube channels, and then they get into power and they think, oh, wow, this is actually very difficult to do. But, you know, they can't tell them that. Whereas, you know, Democrats, when they get into office, they're not afraid to say that, which is nice. They're being transparent, but at the same time, it's also seen as, you know, a form of weakness.
I mean, I guess it can be. I don't know. Am I the only one who sees honesty and transparency as a strong point? Or does that just make me normal?
It makes you normal. But even Bill Clinton at one point said to the public a lot, it's better to be strong and wrong than weak and right. You know, people who try to follow the facts, which can change, they're viewed as being wishy-washy now.
Well, no, the barbarians are inside the gate, all the way inside.
Most important thing is to get off the internet. And the irony of saying this on a podcast is not lost on me. But I do think the human brain wasn't meant to consume as much information as we're consuming. And our social circle is out of control. Like now we're up to date on the lives of hundreds of people rather than, you know, the 20 or 30 in our immediate community, which is who we should be focusing on. Is the most important thing. Because what can we do? We can't necessarily, you know, change the course of history, but we can change the course of our current environment by helping those around us. And those are the people that we can probably elicit the most change. And if they help people, then that's how we make the big difference overall. Or, you know.
Well, if you're looking for a small social circle, this show's listenership is perfect.
There it is.
And on that very uplifting note, on what I thought was not going to be an uplifting show at all, that's our show. I want to thank Polite Kitty, Alyson, Chadwick, Lucy Strausbaugh, and Joe Gorman.
Yeah,
thank you.
Thank you.
This episode was written and hosted by Tom Myers with panelists Polite Kitty, Alyson, Chadwick, Lucy Strausbaugh, and Joe Gorman. Theme music composed and arranged by Jeroen van den Hurck. Executive producers Tom Myers, Aaron Duspiva for Oddly Funny Productions, Matt Connarton for ipmNation, and Eddie Carson for Odyssey Radio. Please leave a 5-star rating and a positive review on Apple Podcasts. And don't forget to subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com/Tom Myers, for access to ad-free episodes, extended episodes, bonus clips, and now Patreon exclusive episodes. And if you're listening to this on YouTube, hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. Thank you for listening, and please visit tommyers.us.